Okay, up next, we are going to talk 3A MESPY winners for Football Team and Football Player of the Year. But first, since 2014, Snap Mobile has supported athletic and activity programs nationwide with reliable fundraising and administrative solutions. Snap Mobile has helped schools and coaches raise nearly $1 billion for their teams. Former Belleville East coach and AD Jim Loyette is your local Snap Mobile rep. So if you're a coach, an AD, or a parent looking for a 100% hassle-free way to raise funds for a team, group, or organization, give Jim a call at 618-910-1781. I've personally worked with Snap Mobile, and I am sold on the process, the professionalism, but most of all, the results. And Viviano, it's springtime in the Metro East, which means one day it's hot, the next day it's cold. No matter what the temperature is, Viviano Heating and Air Conditioning has your emergency calls and maintenance services covered. Viviano is a family-owned and operated company proudly serving the Metro East for over 30 years. Viviano provides quality heating and cooling services, including repairs, installation, and maintenance. Looking for a new furnace or AC unit? Need emergency service or maintenance? What are you waiting for? Call to schedule a service appointment with Viviano today at 618-345-7498 or visit them online at vivianoair.com. And you and your kids may never outgrow your favorite sports, but you may outgrow your equipment. Your locally owned Play It Again Sports provides an easy way to sell your quality used sports and fitness gear and get paid on the spot or trade up for what you need right now. Not only will you save with affordable used gear, but they also supply the latest new equipment and accessories from the most popular brands. I talked recently to Edwardsville store owner Dan Brynildson, and he said it's golf, they're paying top dollar, and they're moving lots of golf, baseball, softball, soccer, all of it. Helmets, bats, gloves, whatever you need, baseball, softball, go see Dan and tell him I sent you. All right. Welcome back to the show, Coach DeVries. Good to see you.
Yep, good to see you.
Congratulations, another good year, 3A MESPY winner, Team of the Year.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And you brought the kid back with you, Andruw Ellis. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. How's it going?
Good, man. It's been a year since I've seen you. You look like a totally different dude, man. You look like a grown NFL player. You went from like kind of a youngish 16-year-old to 23-year-old overnight. How'd you do that?
Special shout out to Quinn Hellman and all the workouts and the diet plan he gave me.
What's that diet look like?
A lot of protein, just whenever I can get it, and carbs like pasta, rice, and all that stuff.
Good for you, man. I'm going to ask you how much you weigh.
195.
What did you weigh last year at this time?
183, I think.
It's good. Good. Feel good? Feel like a different athlete on the football field?
Yeah, I feel a lot powerful and faster now.
Okay. All right, Coach. Congrats. Great season. What's the takeaway from this season? How would you describe it?
Thank you. It was good. I think that we all had goals of being able to win playoff games. But once you get into playoffs, we know that it's going to be, to an extent, luck of the draw who you end up with. And we ended up with a pretty tough Unity team in the first round who had a legit chance at playing. Probably should have played for a state championship.
Tolono.
Yep.
Where is Tolono Unity?
It's about 10 miles south of Champaign.
Okay. And you had a close game with them, 44-31. It wasn't a blowout by any stretch of the imagination.
I would say I think that if we're going to be honest, I think the score looks a lot closer than the game probably was. I think that we put a couple touchdowns in late, but it was probably about a 4-score game in the second half.
7-3 overall, 4-1 in the conference, and I think part of your dissatisfaction, or because I sense that you're proud of your season, but you would have liked to have gone farther. That's what I hear you saying.
Yeah, I feel like we had a team that we had every opportunity to make it. Even the coaches in the conference talked about it. I think with a different draw that we could have easily been a quarterfinal team, but that's not the draw you got. And so when we went 7-2, I think that we all certainly wish we had week 1 back against Jerseyville. And if we go in at 8-1, that draw looks a little bit different, and then you never know.
Okay. Well, I think you've raised the standard of the program. Obviously, you had the historic year, the year before, where people came out and you reignited the energy in the program. And so then this year, when you get to state, which is still a really big deal, it wasn't what the year before was. And so in that way, it's tough to put that pressure on yourself.
Yeah, I think it's hard, but we talked about it from the very beginning of the season that pressure is a privilege, right? If nothing's expected of you, then there's no pressure on you. But these guys, Andruw has been a big part of it for 4 years now, and they've set the standard such that we expect to be in the playoffs. And now the goal is to win playoff games. And when you don't achieve, when I started there, the goal was to qualify. And now the goal is to win playoff games. And when you don't do that, I think that there's going to be a level of disappointment. I think losing to a team like Tolono, there's no shame in that. They went to the second round and they destroyed the number 1 seed on the road, undefeated St. Joe. And so, we played them hard. We played them tough. They were better than us that day.
Okay. Had a lot of good wins, though. Which wins are you most proud of? I'll ask you guys both that. What regular season games you look back on, you're like, man, that was a great win. I'll tell you the one that sticks out at me, but I want you to go first.
I want to hear what Andruw says because I've got one. I had coaches. There's one win that I had coaches from around the state that I know that I'm friends with messaging me talking about what a good win it was.
Okay, I'm gonna guess before you say. You go first.
All right. Me personally, Wood River and CM are always going to be up there anytime we beat them. But the Columbia game, I think, was a really good game this year.
14-7. Great game. Okay, so I'm going to guess the game that coaches reached out to you about was the 12-10 win over Freeburg.
At Columbia. It was because Freeburg was at home. We should have beat Freeburg. We actually played okay that game, but we were able to finish the game out defensively. But going into Columbia, and really that game was 14-0. They scored with 12 seconds left or something like that, kind of a meaningless touchdown. But, we went there into Columbia and were able to win, and it's a hard place to win, and they were a playoff team this year. They were tough.
Great win, though.
It was really good. Yeah, anytime, if we can go on the road and win games in this conference, we feel pretty good about ourselves.
Okay, describe the style of your team. I know that you played the triple wing typically. Same style this year? Same offense?
Yeah, we're all wing T. I think that year to year, 2 years ago, we had so much speed, obviously with Andruw included, that we morphed a little bit to a little bit more of a perimeter run game. And then moving forward, when you start losing kids like Andruw, you end up going to a little bit more north and south, a little bit more physicality, getting off the ball type of system. But it's always going to be wing T for us. Defensively, we completely morphed. We had a new defensive coordinator, and we were able to, I think, become a little bit more aggressive, kind of match that aggressiveness that we had offensively the previous year.
Okay. What about the future? You're losing this kid. Who do you get back next year?
Yeah, and there's a lot. I don't know. I'm not going to try to guess a number in his class in terms of how many kids had started and played huge roles for us as juniors during that 2023 run, but we've got a lot of starters. We've replaced most everyone the last 2 years who had started for us in 23. We have a handful of them that are coming back this year. We lost, actually last year, one of the big losses was we lost one of our juniors last year who's going to be a senior this year during the scrimmage, and he was out for the season. He was an all-conference player as a sophomore who's coming back for us this year. But we've got a core group of seniors that are coming back who played big roles for us actually in 2023 in the playoffs as well as last year in 24.
And the season was great. You had another great season. 3A best 3A team locally in the 618, and the kid sitting to your left was probably the greatest 3A player in the area this year. Averaged rushing 100 yards a game, 99.7 yards per game. Receiving yards, 15 yards a game. Total touchdowns, led the team with 13. Congratulations. You describe your season, Andruw.
I describe it. It was a great season overall, but at the end of the day, all the players know that we want this season back, and we all feel a little that we underperformed a little bit at the end, but it was a great season.
And describe your style this year running the rock.
Fast and anything to get in the end zone.
Do you look for contact?
If it's there, I'll take it, but I'm taking the end zone.
That's what he wants. And you are committed to Northern Illinois University for next year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Do they plan to also use you in the backfield?
No, I'll be switching over to defense.
Okay, because I noticed you have got some outstanding defensive statistics as well. 3 interceptions, second on the team, caused fumbles, multiple caused fumbles this year. Where are they going to put you, DB?
Yeah, safety and nickel.
Looking forward to that?
Oh, yeah.
To hitting people? What about special teams? Any plans for you on special teams? Probably.
That's where I'm hoping for. I'm hoping I'll get some good reps on special teams this year.
Why did you pick Northern?
For me, I think it was just the best opportunity. I really did fall in love with the coaches and the campus that they have, and I think it's a good fit for me.
Any ideas what you want to study?
I've been going back and forth, but right now I think I'm leaning towards accounting, but I've also done things like business and sports management, that type of area.
I love it. I love all that stuff. I heard you were a good student, so I'm encouraged to hear that you're going to study some worthwhile things. You got to get that education and make those contacts, man. Even if you go to the league, you're going to be done playing after a very short time. What are you going to do with your life, man? Are you telling that to these kids?
Yeah. I mean, you don't coach a lot of professional athletes, right? I mean, I've been coaching now, I think 17 years, and I think I've coached one player who ended up going into the NFL, and that's it. And so it's highly unlikely, not impossible, but highly unlikely that is going to be your career, that you're going to be a professional, anything, football, basketball, baseball, whatever you think it might be. So you've got to make sure that you're taking care of school and you're taking care of what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah. But here's the other thing. For the next 4 or 5 years when you're at Northern, you're going to be a professional athlete.
Yep.
Who's also a professional student.
And that's one thing I really liked about Coach Hammock, the head coach, is that he was the only coach in the recruiting process that was true about making sure our players get degrees and have a life outside of football.
That's so important. I love hearing that. Okay, I want to talk about a few more things. But first, if you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Metro East on the Illinois or the Missouri side, please give our partners at Keller Williams Marquee, Jeb and Ginger Blasingame the chance to serve you. They have offices in O'Fallon and Edwardsville with more than 165 agents. The Blasingames are a family-owned business that has helped over 11,000 families find just the right home. The Lipes are one of those families. Jeb and Ginger sold our house quickly because they're experts at staging and pricing, and they helped us find the perfect home, and they can do the same for you. No wonder they've been ranked in the top 10 real estate teams in North America. Give Jeb and Ginger Blasingame a call at 618-578-9276 or check them out online at blasinggamegroup.com. You will not be disappointed. When are you taking off?
June 13th is moving day, and then we'll start that Monday.
Have they talked to you at all about redshirting, possibility of redshirting, or is that just even part of the conversation, or is that just not even part of your mind at all right now?
It's not really on my mind, but me and the coaches have gone back and forth saying it is a possibility, but if I'm in the rotation, I have to play, I'll play.
All right. Sounds good. You're not going to be you'll always be a shell. Once a shell, always a shell, right, Coach?
That's right.
Okay. But you're not going to be on the campus at Roxana. You're not going to see Coach DeVries every day. What are you going to miss most about RHS next year when you're at NIU?
It's definitely got to be the people walking around. I love them all.
Good for you. You've had fun during your 4 years at Roxana.
Yeah, it's definitely been a great time.
Okay, awesome. What are you going to miss about this kid?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't think it's – I know at our level it's not every day you get to coach a Division I player. I think that he's maybe, again, the second one that I've ever coached at any level, and I've coached from 1A to 7A football. So
safe to say he's one of the greatest that you've coached.
I would say that he's the best athlete that I've ever coached.
Okay.
You know, I was at Marquette with Tim Nelson for 1 year when we had Mike Ford, and Mike was a very, very good high school football player. You know, and he's made a great career in the NFL, playing DB and special teams. So good for him. But as a high school athlete, Andrew's as good or better than anybody that I've ever seen. You know, I've never coached a kid that ran a 10.9 100. I've never coached a kid that ran a sub 760. You know, all those things. And then in addition to that, his ability to play football and not just be a sprinter, his ability to play offense, his ability to play defense. He's also an all-conference punter. we try not to punt very often, but when we do have to, he's done that for us for the last, I would say, at least 3 years probably.
Yeah.
And so, there's a lot of versatility there that's going to be – he started for us for 4 years. And so when he started 2 years of defense, freshman and sophomore year, junior year played some defense and primarily on the offensive side, and then this year was definitely both, along with punting and doing some different things like that. So I think that when you have to replace that level of productivity along with that level of talent, it's not easy, right? I'm not going to be able to just go find one more athlete at Roxana and be like, oh, this is my next Andruw Ellis. Those just don't exist. I don't think Roxana's had a Division I football player in about 20 years now.
Really?
Was the last one, I believe, was Rusty Wheat, I think was the last player that had an opportunity to play Division I football.
It's been a while.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah.
How about the intangibles with this kid?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you don't have to worry about classroom, you don't have to worry about grades, you don't have to worry about, his effort, in the weight room, his attitude in the locker room, his impact as a leader, when those things are all present, in addition to having, you've talked about the frame and the speed and the athleticism and all those things, but when that's accompanied with the intelligence, the work ethic, the leadership, and all the things that he shows, again, it's not just a swap out, right? You can't just be like, oh, well, it's okay. Andrew's leaving. I'll take this kid and he'll fill those because it's a lot of roles that have to be filled. And so, we're going to have to piece things together. And we do have some pieces coming up that are pretty talented as well. It's just a different type of talent.
Punter?
Yep.
You like punting?
I just do whatever's best for the team.
No, he likes scoring touchdowns. Nobody likes punting. Punting means you didn't score a touchdown.
Oh, come on. Ray Guy liked punting.
That's true. He did.
Reggie Roby liked punting.
That's true. But no running backs like punting.
Yeah, but if you got to punt, how did that conversation go up? Hey, who wants to try punting?
I think it was just I kind of just got put in the role because I'm a good athlete and I have a soccer background.
Okay. You do?
Yep. I did almost choose soccer over football in high school.
Okay. How many years did you play soccer?
From the youngest I was able to play up until 8th grade.
Did that help you in your development as a football player?
I'd say it definitely helped me as an athlete and like change of direction and that type of stuff.
Running?
Yeah.
Basic running. Yeah. That's the dilemma. I'm not going to knock Little League football, but I think soccer and teaching kids to run is going to help. Plus, you're not getting hit. I don't know. So what made you try football?
Well, I started playing football in 5th grade and flag football growing up, but my friends convinced me once I got into high school to come over with them and play. And I couldn't pass up that opportunity.
And then he started as a freshman, so that probably helped too.
History. Did you recognize the talent right away?
Yeah. I think that year, going into that year, his freshman year, it was post-COVID. So now we're in the fall of 21, and so we were back. We had played that little season in the spring of 21, but we were back in fall football. But we were in a new league, right, with Breeze Central, Columbia, Freeburg. We were playing Bethalto. We were playing all these schools, and we were young. Like, I think we had, I don't know, a handful of seniors maybe that started for us, and then another handful of juniors. I think that year we started 9 or 10. We started 2 freshmen and probably 8 or 9 sophomores. So we knew we were young, and he was one of them. The goal is you never want to have to start a freshman, but when the freshman is the best player, then they start.
Yeah. If he's the best, he plays.
And it was clear, right? It wasn't, if it's a tie, you might say tie goes to the upperclassman, but it wasn't a tie.
I know another coach that would say that the tie goes to the younger kid because you're building for the future, and that coach was Gene Baker, who won 9 state championships in soccer.
Yep.
And that was his rule. Okay. Let's talk about Friday Night Lights. What's going on?
Oh, yeah. So we're doing our spring JFL is going on right now. So us, Wood River, Bethalto, and Jerseyville started, it's basically junior high, so 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. We play 7th and 8th grade JFL games, but we're doing it in spring. So we started practice the last Monday in February. We had 2 weeks of practice, and then we had a little jamboree, just like a little scrimmage with the 4 teams over in Bethalto. and then you play a 6-week season. And this is the last week. So Friday night, Wood River's coming over. We start 7th grade game starts at 6:00, and 8th grade game will be following that. But it's going to be the culmination of what's been a really, really cool spring JFL season in the first year that we've done it.
This is the first year.
Yeah. This is the first year for spring football.
Do you guys have fall football for middle schools?
We don't. We only play in the spring.
Okay. Why don't you have fall football?
We have a lot of kids that play baseball. And so when we threw around this idea and started kind of communicating with some of these other schools, we felt like the overlap with junior high track is very natural. It's much easier to navigate as opposed to junior high baseball, where they're playing, potentially 4 games a week. It's very difficult to play baseball games and get football practices in. And, I know in Roxana, we have so many kids that are going to play football and baseball that we don't want to have to make them choose at the junior high, but we want to find something that works for both. And, we got together, like I said, the 4 districts got together, and we've been meeting about it for about the last year, and it came together, and it's been an incredible success. I know Bethalto's numbers are up. Our numbers are up. I don't know exactly for Wood River and Jersey, but I know they've got really good numbers. The games have been great. I think it's been a huge success.
And you're coaching?
I'm helping.
Okay.
I'm involved. I'm able. So that was one of my biggest things was when we have football in the fall, I'm busy. And so it's not me. Every varsity coach is busy. So it's very hard for me to go through a day, then go through a varsity practice, and then turn around and help at JFL. I miss too much of my kids' stuff, to be honest with you. And, JFL is playing games on Saturdays, but my kids have stuff on Saturdays, and now I'm missing my kid. I can't. It was very, very hard to navigate, and I ended up, JFL for me kind of got pushed to the side, which is not what I wanted. So this was an opportunity we felt like to get high school coaches involved. I'm there. I'm at practice. I'm helping them install stuff. I'm helping them coach details, along with our defensive coordinator, our special teams coach. They're all able to be involved and help coach these kids. And for our 8th graders specifically, it's been great for 6th and 7th, but for 8th graders now, they've got spring football, and spring football just leads into summer where we got training along with football, and then we get into and so I think it's going to be a very natural progression for the 8th graders as they come into high school.
Obviously, you're hoping that it increases your numbers.
Yep.
Increases the level of play.
Yeah.
Because kids will be more skilled, more familiar with offense and defense and the game, obviously, and
it's allowed us to, kids like Andruw are able to come out to practice. So we've got varsity athletes that are out there now because they're not, when these guys get done with a day of school and then a varsity football practice, the last thing they want to do is go to another football practice to help, right? They're tired. They want to go home. I would say they want to go do homework. I'm not really sure about that, but that's always an option.
This kid does homework. He's smart.
He does. Yeah. He's got office help. Don't let him kid you right now. But we end up, now we're able to get varsity athletes out there, and we've got varsity players helping coach junior high kids, and it's really neat to see.
Are you helping?
Yeah, I go when I try or when I can.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it. I like being able to see the talent coming up and being able to tell them little details that will go out throughout the game.
Do kids recognize you?
Yeah, they definitely do.
They definitely do.
Yeah. Kids will recognize you. Like the high school football star, like little kids, middle school kids will definitely look up to you. And the fact that you're there, I think, is very inspiring to these kids. So no track for you this spring, obviously?
No, I'm in track.
Oh, you are doing track?
Yeah.
How's that going?
It was good. I made it to indoor state, and then now I've been out for a little bit with my hamstring, but I'm coming back soon.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, congratulations. Mespy, 3A Team of the Year.
Thank
Mespy, 3A Player of the Year. A lot of success in Shell Country again this year. We're going to keep it up next year, right?
Yep. That's the plan.
Coach Wade DeVries, Andruw Ellis, thanks so much, guys. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.